Several universities and colleges have been identified by the military as recruitment grounds of the CPP-NPA. Allegedly, we'll dig deep into this issue and the red tagging of those who are critical of the government here in the place where journalists meet to discuss pressing issues that matter to you. Welcome inside the press room. Hello, dear friends. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Press Room. I am your host, the region's editor of PressOnePH, Rommel Lopez, and once again joined here inside the press room by our editor at large, Mr. Manny Mogato. Hello, Manny.
Good evening, Rommel. At good evening sa ating mga viewers.
At very special ang ating issue ngayon dahil napag-uusapan dito yung sunod-sunod na accusations ng military about so-called sympathizers or recruiters ng CPP-NPA daw. So, minabuti natin na imbitahan ang mga leaders ng media industry here in the Philippines, starting off with the President of the National Union of Journalists in the Philippines, Mr. Nonoy Espina. Hello, Nonoy.
Ay, magandang gabi, Rommel. Mogs, sir,
Good
idol.
evening, Noy.
Good evening.
At syempre, kasama din natin dito, magiging suki na natin to sa press room. The Executive Director of the Philippine Press Institute, our good friend, Mr. Ariel Sebellino. Hello, Ariel.
Hello everyone, good evening. Salamat ulit sa invitasyon. Masaya ito ulit.
Ay, masaya to.
Kumusta?
Hi Manny, hi Nonoy.
Sir Ariel.
Hi.
Ariel.
Seryoso yung topic natin dito pero gagawin nating masaya. Malalaman ng mga viewers natin later on. So, to start with, before natin pag-usapan itong issue at yung implication nito sa freedom of the press and expression and also academic freedom, hingin natin yung mabilis na rundown na gagawin ni Manny. Ano ba yung mga nangyari the past days and weeks, Manny, na bakit sunod-sunod yung mga universities and colleges and even some personalities, media personalities, even lawyers, naakusahan ng anti-insurgency group ng ating gobyerno as either sympathizers daw or recruiters or palihim na mga NPAs.
Alam mo, lahat ang ito nagsimula nung nakaraang linggo nung unilaterally at arbitrarily inabrogate ni Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana ang 30-year-old na agreement sa pagitan ng UP at ng DND. Kung matandaan nyo, ang agreement na to nabuo ilang araw matapos mapatay si Colonel James Roe, yung American JUSMAG commander na sa Pilipinas. At may dalawang tiga-UP na nahuli illegally kasi walang warrant of arrest sa loob mismo ng campus ng UP, no? At dahil diyan humingi ng kasunduan ang pamunuan ng UP na huwag na sana maulit ganitong mga illegal na pagpasok ng sundalo at pulis sa kanilang campus para manghuli o anumang gawing paniniktik at pagbuwag sa mga aktibidades ng mga ating mga scholar ng bayan. Pero maliban dito sa 1989 agreement ng UP at ng DND na pinirmahan ng dating Defense Secretary Fidel Ramos at ni UP President Jose Abueva, nagkaroon pa ng isang mas malawak na kasunduan ang mga mag-aaral at ang DND sa pamumuno ni then Minister Juan Ponce Enrile na panahon ni Marcos noong 1981 para irespeto ang academic freedom, independence ng mga universidad, hindi lamang ng UP kundi ng buong universidad sa Pilipinas. Pero matapos nga na ito ay wakasan ni Defense Secretary Lorenzana, pinus pa nila further, no? Naglabas ang military ng isang listahan noong nakaraang linggo na nagsasabi na ito yung mga leader ng mga student nung panahon ng 80s at 70s na naging kasapi ng NPA at ang iba rito ay napatay at nahuli. So balit, umalma ang mga taong nasa likod ng listahan Kasi sinabing, aba, hindi kami nahuli. At hindi rin kami NPA, no?
At hindi pa kami patay yung iba.
Patay.
Hindi naman sila ni-recruit for that matter.
Yan, no? At may isang patay doon. Si Ben Cervantes.
Oo.
Pero hindi napatay sa digmaan yon. So palaban lang.
Encounter.
Sakit.
Oo.
Si Rapa Hapa, isang journalist.
Oo.
Sports journalist. Namatay din po sa sakit. Hindi sa pakikipaglaban sa ating mga sundalo at kapulisan. So, ngayon, nagde-demand ng public apology at tinitreten ang military ng cyber libel sa nangyaring ginawa nilang paglabas ng listahan. Siguro pulang-pula yung mukha ng mga sundalo, kakahiyan. Kaya binawi nila, tinignan yung post at nag-apologize. Pero gayon pa man, patuloy pa rin sila sa pag-akusa sa mga tao na taga UP na ito ay recruiter at maaring palihim na kasapi ng NPA.
A breeding ground, di ba?
Ang gandang pinoint out mo yun, Manny, no, na namula yung mukha nila sa kahihiyan. Namula after sa pagkakamali sa red tagging.
Oo.
Pero ang isang namula ang mukha dahil sa galit naman ang mga journalist. Kaya 'di ba, Noy, nagpalabas ang NUJP ng statement against this?
Dahil talamak na yung sobrang talamak yung red tagging at alam mo yun, hindi lang dati na kasing nire-red tag naman talaga yung alternative media, yung NUJP matagal na. 2005 alam to ni Mogs yung Knowing the Enemy, yung ginawa ng ISAP, andun yung NUJP, andun yung PCIJ. So hindi na bago yan. Yung bago ngayon, isipin mo ba naman pati yung kampanya natin para mapanatiling bukas yung ABS-CBN pilit nilang nililink sa insurgency.
Kaya nga.
Sabi ko, teka muna, di ba? Tapos pati yung mga peking memes kay Maria Ressa, ginagamit nila ng task force itong National Task Force to End the Local Communist Armed Conflict. Sabi ko, ito ba'y trabaho nila? Di ba? So parang walang direksyon, basta parang shotgun na lang. Titirahin na lahat. So nakakatakot din. Pero nakakatawa rin.
Nakakatawa, nakakainis.
Marami ring na red tag, no, Ariel, dahil ang PPI, yung mga members nito, nasa print media at karamihan ay community journalists. At sa experience mo rin, sila Nonoy, nasa community rin nag-serve. Sa PPI din, gano'n din ang naging karanasan.
Yung red tagging is one thing. The other thing is that when you get trolled, that's another thing. Pareho ang purpose niyan. Like me, for example, hindi man ako na red tag personally, pero baka malapit na. Pero ewan ko lang kung badge of honor yan, di ba? Pero, di ba, kahit hindi ka na red tag, the chilling effect, the tired, the over-exhausted na concept of chilling effect, hindi lang siya, it's not just nagiging culture na siya much like impunity. And pwede kong sabihin yung targeting learning institutions, this government has long warned learning institutions from the beginning not to be critical. So why are we surprised? Di ba? Yung pagre-red tag, nainis tayo, nagagalit tayo kasi at stake yung lives natin. Kung hindi man tayo makasama natin sila, Nonoy, yung mga nataga NUJP, pinag-iinitan yan lagi na lang. And what are we supposed to do? Ang sinasabi natin lagi, syempre umpukan and all, ganun. Ano ba pwede issue ng statements here and there? Pero how far can we go kung sila naman parating ganon? Calling out might not be enough, pero that's the only way at this time to do, not to curb, but really to ang point ko kasi doon, when you call them out for wrongdoings, you must enjoin the citizens and make them understand why these stupid people are being called out. Kasi sila yung makikinabang nun pag ni-red tag yung journalist, pag merong chilling effect, that happens all the time outside Metro Manila. Right. How many of the journalists on the ground working, not on the ground, baka isipin na on the ground, NPA and all, I mean, nasa nagtatabaho on the ground talaga kasi yung trabaho nila, di ba? Compared to, yung the journalists in Metro Manila. If they get to be red tagged all the time and their lives are put at stake all the time, Sino pa magtatabaw? And we need numbers in journalism, we need numbers in media, we need a pluralistic media. Mas madami, mas better, di ba? At this point in time na mayroong information disorder, di ba?
Lalo na sa pandemic ngayon dahil ang epekto nito hindi lang limited ang movement because of the quarantine restrictions.
Saka isa
Pero
pa,
economically, 'di ba, naapektuhan ang
why are they red tagging learning institutions themselves? Because they know that universities, especially UP, are allies of the media. And that they carry the torch of protecting press freedom, the welfare, etc., etc. Bakit? Sila close allies yan eh.
Right.
Kasi UP lang. The UP fight for that matter is not just the UP fight na galing ka sa UP eh.
Right.
Anybody should belong to that kind of fight na parang, kasi because you uphold the values of what UP stands for or what the entire UP community stands for. Fighting freedom of expression. There's nothing wrong with dissent, and that you propagate or promote freedom of expression, and that media, for example, plays a critical or crucial part in all this, and they don't like it.
Manny, matagal ka nang nag-cover ng balita at even change in government, no? Pero do you see any parallelisms in the 1970s, 80s with what's going on?
Aba, parang tayo ay bumabalik kung kapanahonan ni Marcos, no? Kasi kung tatandaan mo, nung panahon ni Marcos, halos lahat ang nasa gobyerno niya mga militar, no? So mga civilian positions, puro sundalo yan, puro general.
Ex-military.
Oo. Ngayon bumabalik yan dahil ang inappoint ni Pangulong Duterte sa mga civilian positions mga ex-generals din,
Right.
no? At palagay ko mas malala pa ngayon, no? Kasi si Marcos yun, hindi mo marinig naman sabi, papatayin kita.
Tama.
Diba?
Oo.
Pero si Pangulong Duterte, I will kill you. Tsaka sinasabi na ang NPA kalaban at dapat na madurog, no? At iyan nakapagbigay ng encouragement sa ating kapulisan at kasundaluhan upang umabuso at gawin yung dapat lang gawin na minsan medyo labag sa batas, no? So yun, ang nakita kong parallel yung pagbalik natin sa madilim na bahagi ng ating kasaysayan.
Nonoy, nakikita mo ba na hindi lang dissent yung ini-stifle ngayon, but just the mere fact of saying anything against what this government is doing?
Yeah, parang everything is like mind conditioning eh. Tatakutin ka, tatahimik ka. Ganun yung yung cycle ngayon eh. Pero may napapansin nga din ako eh. Madalas nauunang magsalita yung mga general, tapos kakatigan ni Duterte.
At ni
They
Roque.
lead, he actually just confirms. Alala niyo yung usapin ng yung legal fronts, yung kamatayan black, di naman yung pinipilit ni Parlade, di ba? Tapos pinikap ni Lorenzana. Tapos nung isang late night talk show niya, tsaka niya sinabi, kayong mga kamatayan black, legal front kayo, dudurugin kayo. Nauna yung mga general eh. So doon ako nababahala. Who is actually calling the shots in this government when it comes to issues of dissent and freedom of expression and things like that? Parang hindi si Duterte.
And it's equally troubling, no, Ariel, na parang ang nagiging pattern is i-accuse ka muna before i-produce yung evidence. And then they do it by trial by publicity.
Exactly. That's part of the propaganda war. What the government is doing to the propaganda is that they want to control the narrative so that yung public is dissuaded to believe the journalist na alam naman natin na ang truth telling and all chronicling of truth, etc., making sense of all the realities is being made by legit media, or kahit nga hindi legit media, nagsusulat naman, any content provider for that matter, records history as it happens. And that anything they say, for example, yung fact-checking, nagagalit din sila sa fact every time they get to be fact-checked.
Right.
Fact.
FACT,
Sorry. Yes. I'm just trying to know. Every time they get to be fucking fact-checked, nagagalit sila because alam nila mawawalan ng kumbaga pa na tawag dito, nasi-shake yung
Yung narrative nababago eh.
nababago, tsaka yung alam nila na parang, okay, ito lang pinapaliwalaan ng public, pero pag sinake yan, na-jolt yan, parang, ay, teka, baka mabawasan yung tiwala. Parang ganon. So, they're mastering all that they can do to really not to believe in the journalists, not to, even to demonize and to fire out against those who are critical of anything the government said or does. Diba?
If I may add, Rommel, ano?
Yeah, sige, Noy.
Ito nga yung nakikita ko, ito yung talagang ibig sabihin ng impunity. Yung magsisinungaling silang hayagan, no? Harap-harapang nagsisinungaling, harap-harapang nag-aakusa na wala namang katibayan. Minsan nagmumukha silang tanga pero wala silang pakialam. Dahil sa wari nila, wala tayong magagawa. So gagawin lang nila. In fact, may kaso nga yung sa Bicol, sa Sorsogon, yung pinatay na kasamahan natin doon, si Jobert Bercasio.
Right.
Last September. Tapos nag-press con yung pulis doon na January 21. Inanunsyo nila, NPA daw yung pumatay kay Bercasio. Abay, umalsa yung buong media doon. Sabi, imposible yan. Imposibleng NPA yung tumira sa kanya.
And they did not present any evidence again.
They did not present. Yung sabi nila, may walk-in witness daw. Na yung walk-in witness, di nga alam kung sino yung target.
Hindi naman nila ma-produce.
No, hindi rin. So parang
diba?
sabi ng media, yung kalokohan, di ba? Pero namimiyasa, parang sa kanila, they don't care. Basta ito yung sabi namin, kung maniwala kayo o hindi, wala kaming pake.
Manny, mabuti nung coverage mo ng drug war na napanalo mo ng Pulitzer, hindi ka na brand na either drug courier ka rin, kaya alam mo yung network, or nasa kabilang side ka rin.
Wala sa itsura nating adik eh.
Pero let me just say, let me just add to what Nonoy was saying a while ago about why are they doing it? They know it's stupidity. They know it's unnecessary. They know, we all know it's pointless. Why are they doing that still? Kasi gusto nila matabunan or makalimutan o wag i-discuss yung the more important things that this country had to face. Like the pandemic, the health crisis, information disorder, poverty, etc. Yun, the more important thing, gusto silang mawala yun.
Inflation.
Exactly. Kaya naghanap sila ng, kumbaga pa, the whipping boy, etc. I mean, more than the whipping boy. But
Ariel, gusto kong dagdag, yung ating ekonomiya ay sub-sub na.
Exactly.
Tapos ang presyo ng karne at ng bilihin ay pataas ang pataas.
Ang hirap mag-budget.
Wala talagang hirap na Pilipino.
Part of what we are supposed to discuss kasi very realistically, if you talk, I like 2 nights ago, tumatambay ako minsan sa isang tindahan sa village namin, and that, it's really meaningful to talk to a lot of them na parang, hindi siya involved, pero you know that they have at stake. Alam mo, as simple ito Manny, Nonoy, and Rommel, paano sasagutin? The government has trillions of loans, pero hindi nila ramdam. Di ba?
Tama.
Paano yun sa kautangan? It adds more to the poverty, to the unemployment, etc. But the government does not admit. Di ba? Because the government is always saying that they're doing the right thing. Pero you know for a fact that it does not do the right thing.
Right.
Diba?
Saka alam nila, hindi sila magabayad yan eh. Ang magabayad yan, susunod na administrasyon na.
Until 2048. Di ba?
Right.
2048, 2084. Basta ganun katagal. Parang ganun sa time ni Marcos ba na yung hindi papailanganak, nagbabayad na yung fetus, di ba?
Yung utang ni Marcos, binabayaran pa natin.
Exactly. Adding up to it, di ba? Yun.
Ang isang nakakapagtaka dito is, tama yung na-point out mo, Ariel, maaring diversionary tactic to. Pero ang nakakapagtaka, paano ka makakapag-recruit ng mga estudyante to join the rebellion kung lahat ng classes
Online.
sa bahay lahat?
Kaya nga, correct, di ba?
Unless, meron bang pan-load na rin ng NPA at maganda ba signal nila sa bundok?
So yung breeding ground ngayon, yung mga bahay-bahay na, hindi yung mga campus.
Oo.
Di ba? Yung breeding ground.
Alam niyo, mahalaga at malaki yung papel ng media dito eh.
Right.
Kasi madalas nagre-report lang tayo, walang context eh. Marami akong nababasang ganun.
Agree,
diba?
Agree talaga.
Like, parang yung isang napapansin ko kasi, parang hindi kino-question yung description nila ng mga rebelde na di umano'y brainwashed, misled, naloko, ganito. Eh kung ganun lahat sila katanga, ba't di pa sila nauubos? Dali-dali mo palang guyuing, di ba? Tapos yung maraming ganyan. Tapos itong sinasabing nag-apologize sila. If you look at the statements, there was no apology. They apologized for the inconsistencies. Not
It's an
for the red
apology.
tagging.
Right.
Not for the red tagging.
Oo,
Di ba?
oo.
So, dapat inaano yun eh. Dapat pinipisil talaga yun. Kasi the impression that people get is what the news delivers them. And pagkapos yung context at background at ano, wala. Talagang tayo na, it's on us.
Right.
Yeah.
Karga na natin yun.
Kaya tatanungin mo talaga, ano ba yung silbi ng isang acronym niya na napakahaba? Di ba?
Ang
NTF.
tagal ko kayang na-memorize yung
Ne.
pangalan yan.
Kaya nga hanggang ngayon, di ba? Parang, ano ba yan? Yan ba ay ang silbi niya para mag-red tag lang? And in no way, it's fighting insurgency? Parang, you know, bakit?
Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, pero meron na ba nagtanong sa isang press briefing na sa isa sa mga officials natin against insurgency na bakit hindi na lang kasuhan itong mga taong ina-identify nila as part of those who want to destabilize the government?
Wala
And
silang ebidensya.
instead of going trial by publicity, for example, they have the numbers in Congress. If they believe that the Makabayan bloc are all out to topple the government. That's rebellion under sedition, under
Pwede
the
naman
Constitution.
nilang
They can expel the Makabayan bloc members and even file a case para i-disqualify yung mga grupo sa COMELEC, di ba? Why are they not taking the legal avenue to address this issue?
Wala ebidensya, Rommel.
Hindi, actually, tsaka inamin naman nila yan. Inamin ng military, inamin ng mga ex-rebel na state witness nila na they don't have the evidence. In fact, si Parladi mismo nagsasabing nagke-case build up pa pero darating yung Anti-Terrorism Act. Makakasuhan din kayo. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mo pa yung batas para makasuhan yung tao.
When in
Tapos,
fact, address na ng mga current laws natin against sedition and rebellion yan, di ba?
yan na, di ba? So because they can prove anything. They cannot prove anything. So babrasuhin na lang nila.
Do you see, gentlemen, a pattern sa drug war na i-identify ka muna as a drug suspect or a drug courier, babariling ka muna sa kanila, titignan kung innocent ka?
Parehas na parehas eh. Parang, kasi yung drug war, ano yan eh, police operation, no? Itong anti-communist campaign, military driven naman. So, dalawa two-prong yan na hanggang matapos ang termino ni Pangulong Duterte, tiyak na iigting ang violence sa ating lipunan dahil sa maraming tao ang pagsuspetsang kung di adik rebelde.
Yeah.
I remember yung mga yung like yung tumandok, yung sa Panay, police operation pala yun eh. Yung mga unang report, police military, hindi. Police lang talaga yun. At pagkatapos yung nangyari, CIDJ, nagdala sila ng CIDJ sa kung saan-saang region.
Right.
Tinipon tapos kiniri out yung operation. Ngayon, yung regional crime lab, ang hepe ng regional crime lab, umamin sa radyo na ito sa siyam na pinatay, negative sa paraffin test.
Right. And
sibak agad siya.
Oh. Tinanggal ka agad. Tinanggal ka agad. So he was not into the game eh. Kaya siya natanggal.
Actually, kawawa nga siya dahil sabi niya, hindi naman ako nag-volunteer ng information. Yung radyo may kopya na ng findings. Tapos tinanong sa kanya, will you confirm? Sabi niya, totoo yan. Ganon, sibak.
So Ariel, na point out mo Ariel na mga universities na uunti-unti na na sasama na sa listahan na kalaban daw ng estado, breeding grounds daw kasi may kita ka ba rito parang fearless forecast, sino pa ba sa tingin mo idadagdag?
Diyos ko, lahat na nanyaman na yan, di ba? Basta,
lahat.
Di ba? Kasi, Diyos ko, para naman di sila kapag-aral, di ba? Alam naman nila whether elementary or part ka ng molding of the minds of the students and knowledge and all and the wisdom. Kailangan mong, di ba? MILD, hindi MILF ha. Media
Information.
information literacy, nasa curriculum na yan. At
Right.
alam nila, dapat tirahin din nila yung DepEd kasi dapat ang DepEd ang merong imprimatur doon sa critical thinking. Nag-MIL ka pa, pero ayaw mo mag-critical thinking yung mga bata, di ba? So anong silbi ng edukasyon na tinuturo mo na dapat at an early age, ganito, dapat i-MIL na yung kahit anong subject dyan na nasa curriculum na yan.
Right.
Di ba? So merong disconnect talaga. You know, I forgot to say about this. I think this government is a coward. They know that dissent is really so strong in social media. Alam mo yun, the typical bully na you appear to be robust and that you're invincible, you're unbreakable and all, pero deep inside, you know that you can be toppled, that you know somebody can just pin you down, and that realistically, dissent in social media and all platforms are so strong. Hindi nila makontrol yun. Kaya hindi din sila successful in controlling the narrative. And that the media plays a critical role in putting context in all of this. Tama yung sinabi mo, Nonoy, where is the context? Parte ng, kung sa isang bilog, andun yung mga audiences natin, nasa gitna tayo. Yung reaching out in all terrains and platforms. Trabaho natin kasi, we're not just truth-tellers eh. For all of those, I'm sure, for those who are watching right now, hindi parte ng media industry na to, tinuhinap ko yung last episode din na, bakit kayo parte ng usapin na to? Kasi yung media freedom, itong dissent na to, itong free expression na to, hindi siya hiwalay yung sa writing nyo for free expression ng hindi na media in all sectors. Now is the time to really, hindi ko alam na kung paano yung, kasi we have always been engaging with learning institutions, meron tayong scholastic press outreach program, and the campus tours natin, etc., etc. Parte sila ng trabaho natin. Pero, di ba, I think it's about time, well, long overdue, tagal naman din, na kailangan talaga i-solidify that engagement between the media and the academic institutions talaga. Because they are allies in the first place. I think learning institutions have always treated media institutions as allies ever since. So, you know, the unbreakable tie is even more pronounced now because I think the government really understood that tie, that unbreakable tie na hindi talaga masusunog, hindi talaga siya mapapatid, di ba? And that's the one they're afraid of.
Mabuti, Ariel, yung mga school tours mo, no, hindi ka na brand na nagre-recruit ka. Kasi ikot ka ng ikot eh.
Oo, ito nga, mag-uumpisa na kami itong ano na to, all online nga yung campus. Para nga kami mga artista, di ba? Campus tours. Diba kasi nagka-campus tour kayo pala, nire-recruit na kayo. Hindi, nagre-recruit kami ng mga journalist para sila na yung papalit kila Nonoy. Kila Manny.
Patapos na tayo.
Diba? Oo. Diba yung ganong, nagmo-mold na tayo at this point eh. Diba?
Podcast na lang. Kasi semi-retired na.
Kaya nga, mas maganda nga na nasa eskwelahan pa sila. They've already taken the responsibility as communicators, as content providers, mga legit na content providers, as journalists, di ba?
Pero we have to emphasize din no na the role of journalists as the fourth estate, watchdog ng gobyerno, hindi lang naman na-emphasize sa particular government lang ni Rodrigo Duterte. Baka akala nila kasi
lahat naman sa lahat.
Lahat eh.
Lahat
Di ba?
ito.
Yan, nakwento ni nung isang podcast tayo, di ba Manny, nilista mo pa nga kung ano yung attitude ng kada presidente na kinover mo, kada press briefing eh, kung napipikon. Everyone is fair game, pero ang parang nangyayari ngayon, parang masyadong pikon tong administrasyon na to.
Masyadong ano ba? Yung
at lahat na lang ng nag-raise ng objection for a particular project. Like, tingnan mo, naasar na naman si President Duterte sa mga nagko-question doon sa vaccine procurement. Lahat na naman, kalaban na naman. Parang hindi ba tayo pwedeng usap at isipin natin na, di ba, may point ba tong mga critics?
Yung reading ko doon, ito yung pagkapikon ng tao hindi makasagot ng puna.
Ayun.
Wala silang maisagot eh, pag tinanong eh. Kaya dadaan nila sa pasigaw-sigaw, pagagalitan
Kaya
ka,
Kaya nga.
tatakutin ka,
Ang
gano'n.
sa debate, when your opponent started throwing ad hominems, you know you
Yun, ayun, panalo ka na.
That is the day they
Ang
lost
problema
their-
dito, sila yung may baril. Di ba? Pag naasar sila, pwede kang barilin.
I think
Ganun,
isa rin,
yun ang imbalance doon. Ang laki.
isang concept din siguro, Manny, na hindi maintindihan, no, yung academic freedom. Akala nila yung academic
yeah.
freedom magtuturo na lang. Ang nasa isip na siguro maglagyan ng CCTV kada classroom para ma-monitor kung ano yung tinuturo ng professor.
Tsaka, they're veering the concept away from the discussion that this is not now about academic freedom, when in fact it is part and parcel of what they're doing is to really curtail academic freedom.
Right.
Kasi ang isip nila sa edukasyon yung nag-aaral ka lang, pinapaaral ka ng gobyerno kung
Right.
nasa state university colleges ka, o pinapaaral ka ng mga magulang mo kasi investment yun. Hindi nila alam the molding of the mind starts dun sa learning institution, tsaka parte yun ng yung going out of the four walls of the classroom ba. Again, parang naman din sila nakapag-aral, di ba? Ganon din naman yung sinasabi ng mga teachers sila dati.
Oo. Anong
Diba?
masasagot niyo sa sabihin nila na ang UP is a state university, it is owned by the government, it is public property. Therefore, state forces can enter there anytime.
Alam mo yung kasunduan nga ng UP at DND na pinawalang bisa ni Secretary Lorenzana, ano necessary yun eh. Kasi hindi naman talaga bawal pumasok ang pulis o sundalo sa loob ng UP campus. Kaya lang, kailangan mo ng prior notice.
Correct.
Diba?
Yun yung tinanggal nila, ayaw nilang nagpapaalam.
O parang bahay mo yan eh. Gusto mo bang bahay mo, pasokin na ng basta ng pulis?
Oo.
Diba?
Yun nga ang point nila,
Paalam
Manny.
mo na.
Hindi raw bahay ng UP yun eh. Pag-aari na raw ng state eh. Actually, I'm playing devil's advocate here kasi nababasa ko to sa mga sagot ng mga trolls eh. Bakit ang arte nyo? Pag-aari naman ng gobyerno yan ah. So pwede silang pumasok dyan anytime. Pero siguro ang tanong dito is, can the military and AFP also go inside Malacanang, the Senate and the House of Representatives without informing the Senate leadership and the House leadership?
Correct. No? Pero tingin ko, maski naman may kasunduan na noon, noong 1981 o 1989,
Nagagawa pa rin
naman yung surveillance ng military sa loob ng campus eh.
Right. Tsaka may UP police
Nag-i-enroll na yung sundalo eh.
Oo.
Correct. Oo.
May barangay officials din ng UP.
Yeah.
Dahil natitinda ng kwek-kwek doon na nagmamatsyag.
So anong magiging future ng ating education system with this kind of setup? And hopefully dahil nga let's be frank about it, parang winding down itong administrasyon na to. Sa term ni Rodrigo Duterte, we're not talking about yet yung kung sino yung magiging successor niya, no? Pero this administration wise, winding down na ito. Pero parang naging policy na ito. So ganito ang sitwasyon pa ng ating education system ngayon na lahat online. Tapos meron pang parang warning na we're on the lookout. Binabantayan namin kayo. So paano na ang magiging education natin ito?
It's winding down. It's also breaking institutions. What legacy you will be talking about? The history will judge you as one of the whatever description it will have for this kind of for this government. Di ba? Kung anyari ako presidente ko, aalis ako. Kunyari ako padre de pamilya ako. Aalis ako sa isang bahay na magulo. Hahayaan ko ba yung bahay na magulo? And then find, solace somewhere else? Di ba? Right. Will you be happy about it that you won't have any legacy at all? Will you be happy about it if your country is in shambles? Di ba? What kind of winding down is it? What kind of legacy, di ba? If legacy, they've been talking about legacy since the beginning, di ba? If at all, di ba?
Palagay ko walang balak bumaba eh.
Kaya nga, di ba, magchat-chat siya na nga, di ba?
Oo. Isa pa yun, tama. Mabuti na bring
diba?
up mo yan, Ariel. Kagaya ng sinabi mo, parang smokescreen to sa lahat ng mga
smokescreen. Yeah.
Lahat ng mga importanteng issue, tapos biglang pinapasok na agenda na hindi kailangan.
Exactly. On the one hand, tingin ko, they are also in danger of overreach. Pag tinuloy-tuloy nila tong panggigipit sa mga universidad,
okay,
tingin ko may talagang magkakaroon ng
Yeah.
pushback.
Yeah.
Mga
Nagkalalagyan
kabataan to eh. No?
Yeah, correct. Agree.
I mean, tingnan mo, itong pandemic, the
Yes.
pandemic is actually a blessing for this administration.
And they've
Kasi
been using, and they're using the pandemic for all of
As
this.
cover.
Yeah.
Kasi kung babalikan natin yung ABS-CBN, tingin ko pag walang pandemic,
Ay.
at yung
Yeah.
pinilit nilang ipasara na
Yeah.
habang tumitipon yung libo-libong tao
Yeah.
doon,
Yeah.
araw-araw, that
Magpipeak
could have
yun.
been a catalyst.
Magpipeak
But then
yun
the
talaga.
pandemic put a stop to that.
Yeah.
Tama.
Correct.
So yung, tingin ko nga itong myth of popularity, it doesn't hold eh. Service lang yan eh. I mean, tayo,
Yung 91%, Noy.
yung nakakausap natin sa labas, yung mga pajak driver dito, yung mga taxi driver,
Yeah.
yung mga jeepney driver, walang may gusto sa kanya eh. So saan yung sinasabi nilang 90%? Yung
Kaya
lang is may takot yung tao, may takot pa yung tao.
Ay, parang sa mga sa jeep, na may 10 tao. Lahat ng 10 na 'yon pro. Ibig sabihin yung nag-iisa, ikaw yung nag-iisang 1%.
Di ba? Pero wala di ba? Wala, hindi, it doesn't happen that way.
Pero gentlemen, parang 'di ba before the 2019 midterm elections, parang mataas na rin yung sentiments and yung galit ng mga tao with the policies of the government. Pero bakit ito Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Locsin is bragging about it even in Twitter na ano yung mga pinagsasabi nyo, look what happened in 2019. Sino yung mga nanalo?
Kaya, because that's part of the propaganda. They really have to push it na parang they have the number, etc. Para, to dissuade really people believing that merong dissent. After all, gusto nilang may pakinabang sila eh. Kasi iba yung pananaw nila sa...
Pero kung babalikan mo yung
viable
2019
opposition eh.
election,
Manny.
tatlo lang naman napanalo ni Duterte ron eh. Si Bato, si Tolentino, tsaka si
Bongo.
Tatlo lang eh.
Oy,
naman tao niya talaga.
Uy, meron silang bagong tandem. Alam niyo ba? Yung acronym doon?
Ano na magsabi? Alam ko yun.
Ano naman yan? Ano na naman yan? Sige na.
Hindi ko masabi. Masisensor tayo dito. Kahit
tingnan nyo na yung mga memes. Diba? Anyway, napag-uusapan din naman yan, di ba? Yung tipong, all these memes and the social media have also been used for propaganda war, etc. Saan pa tayo lulugar in terms of, ito lang yung tanong ko sa sarili ko, yung isang gabi. Parang, if they have been successful in curbing trust dun sa journalism, di ba? Philippine journalism. Paano natin ibabalik yun? Pero sa tingin ko kasi, naibalik na yun eh because we're not talking about numbers here. We're talking about how you feel about this in your di ba? In your community, for example, either virtual or physical, di ba? Meron talaga eh. Kaya, sorry kaya talaga yung tao din, there's a good number that doesn't believe in surveys.
Right.
However scientific, they will always say it is. Diba?
Yung isa nga yung letter P.
Diba pag tinanong mo yung kapitbahay mo na madami sila, yung mga tricycle drivers na nakakasalamuha and all. I mean, bakit? Parang, ito naman pala sila. Frustrated na yung mga ganun, di ba?
Actually, yung nakikita kong factor dito, isang malaking factor na nawawala. We have no viable opposition pa rin.
Right. That's a truth. That's a truth.
So, tingin ko yun ang nakakabahala, nakakatakot.
And I think
walang alternative.
And I think the Duterte administration is happy about it dahil walang viable.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
It's not even Vice President Lenny. Parati na tinitira si Vice President Lenny pero hindi naman siya viable in my own opinion Hindi naman siya ganun kalakas.
Pero
opposition.
alam mo, mas takot si Duterte kay Lenny.
Oo, makikita mo sa pattern ng pagsasalita.
Takot siya sa babae. Takot siya
sa babae.
Sa totoo lang.
Depende sa babae. Ano ka ba?
Gentlemen, i-wrap up natin. Final question. What advice could you give to our viewers if they or someone they love and they know have been red tagged?
Ako ba una? Unang-una
sige, Ariel.
We have to keep the vigilance up. hindi pwedeng mawala yan. I think it's easier said than done, but I think kasi tayo, we are all communicators, content providers, and journalists. We would always be on the side of the truth, but how do we engage them? Na, kunyari, in the event there'll be red tag, kailangan, sorry for the term, saklolohan. Kasi that's part of our job. That's part of our job is really to save lives. And why do we save lives? Kasi once you're red tagged, you put them at risk. They're at risk. Baka mawalan pa sila ng buhay.
Right.
You know? And we believe in the sanctity of life. Amidst all these difficulties we're facing right now, the pandemic, the crisis, etc., and a government does not believe in the aspirations of the people, sorry to say, talagang the only way for us to really be of service, going beyond the call of duty, is really to make sense of what everybody does. For example, ako sa tingin ko, maliit lang to, no? Pero yung tipong, pag tuwing pupunta ka sa palengke, and you know that everybody complains about the rising cost of commodities, what are you to do? Because there's no way that you cannot buy, you have to buy. But I think if you tell them that, bakit hindi pwedeng kalampagin ng DTI? And that's the work of DTI, to regulate prices in this period of time where everybody is experiencing difficulty. And that madaming tao na nagtitake advantage ng sitwasyon na to. To be able to make sense of everything we do, how little it is, I think that's all part of, number one, of altruism. Number two, it's all part of keeping them abreast with what's happening. Madali nga sabihin, pero I think kayang sabihin, and I'm joining everybody watching as it's the final word, to really be on the side of truth. And the truth will have to be protected at any cost, because that is the one that will have to make us rise above adversities. That's all I can say. So keep safe pa rin.
Thank you, Ariel.
From the stupid vaccine, kung ano man yung brand na yun.
Kung anong brand.
No.
Nonoy?
Yes. Well, if the question was directed to the audience, ako'y nananalig ako sa strong sense of community nating Pilipino. Pag yung community mo yan eh. Pag diyan ka umiikot, diyan ka nakatira, magkakilala kayo. Talagang mag-aano yan. Alam mo, may sandalan ka. No? So, pag may kilala kayong nare-red tag, huwag kayong mag-atubiling tulungan. No? Kasi yung principle dito, pag ginawa sa iba at hindi ka umimik, baka dumating yung panahon, ikaw mangyayari sa'yo. Wala
yung mahal
na
mo sa
imik.
buhay. Yung mahal mo
Right.
sa buhay, di ba?
So, let's keep that sense of community. No?
Right.
Pag may ni-red tag, pag may nilait na, uy, NPA yung kapitbahay mo, huwag agad-agad maniwala. Lalo kung kapitbahay mo, kung kakilala mo.
Correct.
Ba't ka maniniwala agad? No?
Agree.
So, tulungan natin. No? Let's demand that all accusers present proof. Pag walang ebidensya, walang kwenta. No?
Iskis.
At magbantayan tayo. Let's all watch each other. Huwag tayong papayag na yung kapitbahay natin ay pupulutin na lang na walang nakakaalam. Kailangan alam natin yan. Kailangan magpakialaman na tayo.
Right.
Makialam tayo.
Very good. Thank you, Noy.
Absolutely.
Manny?
Tama nga silang dalawa, no? Kailangan mong vigilance dito. At para sa atin na nasa media, huwag tayong manahimik. No? Huwag tayong matakot. Ituloy lang natin ng laban sa pamamagitan ng pagbabalita ng katotohanan. No?
Right.
Kasi pag tumahimik tayo, madali tayong maapi, makakalo, at aabusuhin nung nasa kapangyarihan. So mag-ingay tayo, magsama-sama tayo, magtulungan. Diyan lamang tayo, tatayo at pushback nga, no? Sa ating ginagawang pag-aabuso sa ating karapatan.
Correct.
Very good. And if I may add sa mga wisdom na na-add ninyo, let us always remember na yung freedom na na-enjoy natin ngayon, even freedom sa social media, okay, was bought by men and women who did not cower to fear, who stood up, who fought for it, and who went out of the streets. I was a little boy back then in 1986, pero this is what we're enjoying right now. And we must repay them a debt of gratitude by emulating what they did. Maliit man sila or malaking tao, kilala man sila or hindi, all went out and expressed their freedom by protecting our liberties. At sana ma-express natin yun, hindi uli sa labas ng kalsada, pero by making a wise decision in 2022.
Correct.
Huwag natin kakalimutan ngayon pa lang, mag-isip-isip na ho tayo, tandaan natin ang mga nangyayari ngayon, nangyayari mula 2016 hanggang ngayon, hanggang 2022. Bago natin bilugan yung itlog na yon sa pangalan, sa susunod na halalan, tandaan natin nasaan sila ng mga panahon na yon at ano yung ginawa nila para ipaglaban yung ating ikabubuti at lalong-lalo na yung ating kalayaan.
Tsaka pinagtrabahuan natin 'yan. Hindi yan yung utang na loob sa gobyerno natin sa gobyerno. Pinagtrabahuan yan ng mga forefathers hanggang ngayon, and to make it still viable, to make them viable, kailangan talagang i-instill doon sa next generation na ito, pagtrabahuan niyo din. Kasi pag nawala sa inyo, wala nang saysayang henerasyon na pinaglalaban ng henerasyon ngayon.
Right.
Diba?
And even the next generation of journalists watching this podcast, yung mga pinagdaanan ng inyong mga ninuno, ayokong bigay yung pangalan, pero mga ninuno sila ng journalism. Kaya tayo nag-prosper at emulated ang Philippine journalism because of fighting for democracy and freedom. Unfortunately, gentlemen, sobra na tayong overtime. Kulang na tayo sa disk space. Na naman, bitin na bitin, di ba? Parang 1 minute lang. Pero we'll do this a monthly thing na. We'll always invite you, Ariel and Nonoy, to be our regular guests every month para mapag-usapan natin ang estado ng journalism in the Philippines. At syempre, nandito yung ating Dean, si Dean Manny Mogato.
Of course.
ng Press Room. Maraming salamat, Ariel.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manny.
Salamat, Noy. Salamat, Ariel.
Direct, thank you very much.
Magkikita din tayo ulit.
Salamat ho sa ating mga supporters and mga viewers. Feel free to comment po sa aming mga podcast dahil binabasa po namin yan. And if you have any other suggestions on future episodes, please mag-comment lang po kayo sa aming comment section ng aming YouTube show. Maraming salamat po. Ako po uli si Rommel Lopez, Inside the Press Room. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you.